Well, good afternoon to you again. Friday day, and we know what that is, Dennis. We've had our Cornish win yesterday, now day's Friday, so I have a bit weekend off here, now weekends. See if I can get a few more stories ready for next week. I mean, it's a bit cooler today, but it's nice. Weather's fairly good, isn't it, So we want a few days like this. Everything will stop growing then and settle down then a bit for winter. Anyhow, I hope you're all alright. Just stay safe. You'll be right. We can be okay. Now this year one is Herbert Lean one today. But the circus. "'Tis no good say one thing and mean another," declared Tom Slow. "Cameron people always did dearly love a circus. We used to have it up in Jackson's Fields up Dole Coast Road. I was on afternoon shift up Dole Coast, and one day we see the tent fixed when we was going work. We was all talking about it. 'Twas on in the dry. One man said 'twas a shame miss a good circus, only comes once a year. Another miner had seen the riders going down Tallywarren Street, and a handsome lot of horses that was with the Queen upon a big wagon as high as a town clock. Wasn't long afore we was all winded up like a passel of boys. Bill Manhire was all for voting and taking a steam off, but I said, let's keep up the old custom by throwing up a odd boot in the air. If it come down again, we would go down work, but if it should happen to stay up, so would we. Nearly broke my heart to leave my boy home when all the others are gone circus," said John Jacks. "I say, let's go on home again. Howsoever, I won the toss and throwed up the boot. Every eye was fixed up on it as it struck the ceiling and was coming down again, when we all gove a groan. But lo and behold, it got caught in one of the rafters and never budged another inch. We waited for about a minute or two, and then it sticked. Everybody gove a cheer and bolted out for our dunkers and shays. You couldn't see us for dust." "Wasn't the captain mad?" asked Feather. "No, he was the first one we seed outside the circus and paid for all our boys go in. We didn't lose much time, except Mes Mondays. Tidn't like the short 40-hour week that they nearly all got now." "That's nothing new," interrupted boy Richard Henry. "I read about a man what never worked only 4 days a week, and that was 200 years ago." "Who was the man, I should like to know?" asked Father. "Well, 'twas Robinson Crusoe. He had all his work done by Friday. 'Tis said in my own workbook, a female adult. What is that?" "Oh, 'tis an adulteress," replied Feather. "Now that's right," added Tom Slow. "A girl in court said she was a teenage spinster. You can see I aren't always as slow as I am sometimes, but today everything is for speed. One day a girl is a happy, blushing bride. Next week she's a fond mother. Yet, believe me or no, in some things a woman is much slower than a man. I was born the same day as the woman next door to me. I'm 50, and she's only 35. Most woman is more clever than a man. Take my wife now. She can talk 2 languages." "I never knowed that," said Mother, who had just come in. "Oh, yes, she can. When we got company, and the other when they're gone. We've been married 40 years now." "You're telling lies. Can't be more'n 30, laughed Mother. "Well, it do seem like 40, grumbled Tom Slow. "Woman down the road last week was some bad. Doctor gove her up. She was lying in bed and her husband was holding her hand." In a very weak voice, almost a whisper, she said, "I don't mind dying, but I can't bear to think about what will happen to my darling little child." "Oh, don't you worry about that," said her husband, trying to cheer up. "The woman next door said she'd marry me as soon as you're gone." "Oh, she did, eh? Well, bring up a good cup of tea. I aren't going to die yet. Yesterday I seed her out hanging clothes on her line." Women are queer as cattle, as I've said afore. Last Sunday, I was sitting in the same seat as the strange woman and her little maid. Down chapel. After the service, she thanked me and said if my aunt wasn't between us, the girl would have been sick all over us. That clock's right, is it? Well, see you again. Now this here one by David Prowse, Birds of a Feather. We've had our hard times in the past, old Jan was looking back. Like 1956, he said, when things was looking black. First, Ada lost her wedding ring with Christmas close at hand. And as for Christmas dinner, we had nothing special planned. But, as often happens, there was better news to come in the shape of Farmer Oskin with the job he wanted done. Come on and chop some logs, said he, 'cause I shan't have the time, and you shall have a chicken, plump and tasty, in his prime. Well, the chopping wasn't no trouble, but the second part was hard, 'cause my wages still had feathers on and was strutting round the yard. Oh, we heard old Christmas bargains by the way he looked at me, then run like mad, spread out his wings and fluttered up a tree. Of course, as I climbed, he clacked and clucked and all back down to earth, while I expressed my doubts about his origins of birth. Trust me to find the only bird from Inverness to Hale, with a brain like Albert Einstein and a turbo up his tail. In the end, I peeled my overcoat and catching underneath, but another problem surfaced then to temper my relief. 'Cause I couldn't kill that chicken if you give me 50 quid. I just haven't got it in me, never have and never did. And what will Ada say, I thought, as I started off for home. But the chicken took beneath my arm, my heart as cold as stone. I had to tell the story as the bitter truth aloud. But Ada, God bless her, oh, that woman done me proud. She said, I love 'ee, Jan Travascus, as I've loved 'ee all my life. You're a man of gentle nature, and I'm proud to be your wife. Go in and take your boots off, light the fire, and hang your hat. There's corned beef in the cupboard, and we'll make the best of that. Well, I put my arms around her, slow to let the moment pass, then glanced towards a chicken where he scrabbled in the grass. A glint of something sparkled when he scratched around the leaves, and there was Ada's wedding ring to pay for his reprieve. Corned beef on the table, not a penny to our name, no merry clink of glasses, nor the taste of grape or grain. A chicken in the garden that nearly drove me mad, the best, most cherished Christmas me and Ada ever had. Thanks very much.